All right. Arsenal 4, Wigan 0. It's the exact prediction that really called for if you watched my match preview when I streamed live earlier today. Goals for Arsenal, all have gone ahead to coming through during the first half, and it was evident that the side of Arsenal had to obviously go out and obviously put out a very beautiful display, playing Wigan Athletic that is really below the belt. As far as the hierarchy of the leagues of the UK is really concerned, Arsenal is through to the 50th round. And I think it's been quite a long time since we last saw Arsenal obviously proceed to go to this particular round, And Arsenal have reached the FA Cup 50th round for the first time since the 2019-20 campaign, when they went on to win the competition. So that means the last time Arsenal reached the 50th round, they went ahead to lift the trophy. And do you doubt that they cannot obviously lift this trophy? I tell you, they 100% can win the trophy in here for you. And I think the 50th round is really one of those closest to the quarterfinals, semi-finals, and so on and so forth. So it is that a team goes ahead to do the needful and really lift this trophy. Smash like button, comment, and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name, right? And this is like the third video, 2 lives, and this is the first recording, that I'm obviously putting up in here. Arsenal went ahead to obviously find themselves in a position of really scoring the first goal in the 11th minute through Noni Madueke. Beautiful finish. And for Noni Madueke, 2 goals in 2 games. 2 consecutive games, 2 goals. Now, if there is anything you feel like you want to see to it that you put out a very huge shift for the club of Arsenal, you need to see to it that you widen onto the sources of goals. And if Noni Madueke is obviously scoring in here, then that is obviously building his confidence. When he scored in the midweek and he has gone ahead to score today, 2 consecutive games, scoring in here, I think what other boss does he need ahead of the game of Wolverhampton Wanderers and the game of Tottenham Hotspur? Because if you're an Arsenal fan, you understand that you need to win these games, right? Then 8 minutes later, Gabriel Martinelli in the 19th minute went ahead to obviously double the lead for the club of Arsenal, and he made it to 0. Then Jack Hunt went ahead to obviously put in his own goal, put the ball in his own net. Bukayo Saka obviously being released by Noni Madueke towards the byline, and then Saka used his weak right foot to obviously chip that ball in. Jesus got a touch, that never direct that ball into the back of the net, but I think it had gone in the vicinity of, was it Gabriel Martinelli or someone else was really around, and the defender was like, let me try to prevent this guy from obviously putting that ball in the back of the net. And guess what happened? It obviously went ahead to cross the goal line, and it was an own goal from Jack Hunt. Then Gabriel Jesus in the 27th minute went ahead to obviously do justice to that pass from Nogard, and it was 2. Hear me out. It was 4-0 for the club of Arsenal. Obviously, getting this game done and dusted benefits the club of Arsenal because you need to rest players. If you know what this has been about, this season is all about Arsenal either winning the Premier League or the Champions League. And their most important attribute should come in through when they either win all this, because the FA Cup can be won by Arsenal. 22nd of March, Arsenal can come in and obviously put in a very huge shift and obviously beat Man City in the final of the Carabao Cup, but that won't really feel or make Arsenal fans proud all over the world. What will make Arsenal fans proud all over the world is to see their team go all out to win what we call either a Premier League or a Champions League. So if this outing has seen Arsenal go ahead and really put out a very beautiful shift with resting close to 8 players, I tell you, it is really worth it because you are playing Wolverhampton Wanderers, a team that you can also go ahead and really play with your second string side. But I know the manager will obviously go hard in there. How many players have been rested? David Raya, Timber, Hinkapie, Gabriel Magalhaes, Zubimendi, Declan Rice, Victor Gyökeres. You understand? And they had to obviously rest another player, but as they are really warming up, as the side of Arsenal was really warming up, you know what went ahead to happen? Ricardo Carafiori again went ahead to obviously get an injury. And remember, even last year, I think in November, at the beginning of November, I think they're going to be playing against a certain team, and he really went ahead to get injured, and that's when Lewis Kelly obviously came in to obviously play as the left back for the club of Arsenal. You remember? And he kept him out for like 4 to 6 weeks. And this time around, we don't know the extent of the injury. Something that I had been praising for Ricardo Carafiori as a huge improvement for him as compared to last season. Because last season, he was an injury-prone player. He rarely kicked the ball for the club of Arsenal. But this season, came up and really played some consecutive games, from August, September, October, November, and 3.5 consecutive months, the lad was on fire. But from nowhere, he really went ahead to get an injury while warming up, not in the due course of the game. And we are told by then that it's really a light injury, it's a ego, but it really kept him out for so long. But good enough, in that position where he plays, Arsenal really has a variety of players that can really do the job. Lewis Kelly, you can talk about a player called Hinkapie in there. So all I really understand is that the manager knew that maybe something was not okay with Ricardo Carafiori. That's why you saw to it that even when he got back, the manager never really played him frequently because he 100% knew what this was all about. So that is all about Ricardo Carafiori getting injured, and he's out of contention in there for you. So we'll wait for the physio's report about this player in there. Now, Arsenal had 17 shots today, and Wigan had 2 shots on target. 2 shots. Arsenal had 6 shots on target, and Wigan had 2 shots on target. 79% possession by Arsenal, 21% possession by Wigan, 0 passes. 11 fouls by Arsenal, 13 fouls by Wigan, 2 yellow cards for Arsenal and 2 yellow cards for Wigan. 0 red cards issued to either Arsenal or Wigan. Then 4 offsides to the side of Arsenal and 1 to the side of Wigan. And then 5 corners. And 5 corners for Arsenal and 0 for the side of Wigan. The last game they played, in the FA Cup, Arsenal scored most of its goals through what we call set pieces, right? But all in all, we are waiting to see how things will obviously have to pan out. Now, what Arsenal need to understand is that Chelsea through Chelsea, so Arsenal will face the following teams, either of these teams: Chelsea, Wrexham, West Ham, Norwich, Southampton, Mansfield, Man City, Newcastle, Liverpool, Birmingham, Leeds, Wolves, Fulham, Sunderland, Mansfield, Old Brentford, and Bristol City, meaning that we are going to be left with 16 teams, meaning that it's going to be like the round of 16 where we are going. And hitting the round of 16, that will call in for a lot, right? It will call in for a lot for the round of 16. You beat... I think the draws are going to be really done tonight. So we'll be knowing who Arsenal is obviously going to be playing. From the round of 16 to the quarterfinals, semi-finals at Wembley, and then also finals at Wembley. So we're here to wait and see how everything really pans out. But Arsenal's going to have to win this game, and they're going to have to keep a clean sheet. I've going to have to see Setford come on. Saliba has been rested, and other Salmon came on through. Ben White also looks like has been having an ego in there, but we wait to see whether it was that serious or not. But That's what I really had to obviously say about this game of football. I won't obviously come up and obviously say a lot about it, but good to see Gabriel Jesus on target again. You know, he has a brace, I think, in the Champions League. Now that is the third goal. He has a goal in the Premier League. So I think as we proceed to the end of the season, this guy might obviously hit double figures across all competitions in there for you. I'm out. Bye-bye. And Gabriel Martinelli has 10 goals in cup competitions only. You know, Champions League 6 goals. I think FA Cup this is the other time he scored a hat trick, by the way. You remember he scored a hat trick in the FA Cup. So we out. Bye bye.